Sure. So we're going to get started. It's 11:01, and we'll just let people drop in. I can't see because you're sharing your screen. It's okay, but I'm pretty sure Ashley is on the call, and I wanted to thank Ashley Cruz, Montclair Health Department's health educator, for putting us together, Vince, because she's the reason why you're here. So I wanted to give a shout out to the health department, to Ashley, and for all the hard work she's doing, connecting all of us and connecting you to us. So Vince Smith is, I smile when I say your name, Vince, because I had a hairdresser in Manhattan when I was living in Brooklyn named Vincent Smith, and that was the name of the hair salon called Vince Smith. And so I kept thinking, I wonder if Vince retired from hair and became a health educator. But this Vince Smith is a health educator. And believe me, look at my hair. I need Vince Smith, the old Vince Smith. But anyway, Vince Smith works for Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. Many of you are familiar with this company. It's really it's a widely known institution, healthcare company in the township of Montclair's, health provider for employees and also for loads and loads of people in New Jersey. So Vince is here to talk to us about skin cancer, how to prevent it, what to look for, because it's something that's becoming more and more prevalent as we, well, not just as we age, but as the sun gets seemingly stronger. So take it away, Vince, on this rainy day where there's no sun. Take it away. Thank you.
All right. Michelle, thank you for a wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it. It's just to give you a little bit of a background for everybody that's on here. I am actually a retired school administrator. I had 27 years in different schools. I was actually in Jersey City, my hometown. I haven't figured out my accent yet. For 5 years, 22 years in Irvington and Hazard. And I wasn't a fan of suburban education. So my wife said, well, you want to retire, you can, and I did. That lasted 3 months, and she said, get out and do something. So I did. And that's how I'm here with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield as a health educator, because I started out as a health educator and phys ed teacher. And I say health education first because that was my major, and I only got phys ed as a certification. So I'm here to talk to you about something that I am very, very well aware of because I am a melanoma survivor 3 times. My shoulder, my chest, and my foot. When I was a kid growing up, I was out in the sun all the time, and boy, I just cooked myself up because I didn't know any better. After getting the melanoma replaced 3 times as an adult, I really, really became enhanced in this, and I've been to over 100 schools in New Jersey doing presentations. And now I'm doing Medicare, and it's still just as important because you still have to protect yourself from the sun. And you still have to be very aware of looking for what you need to see on your body to head it off and get it early if you have it. So we're going to talk about melanoma and other skin cancers. So let's rock and roll. Please put any questions you have in the chat box. I will answer all questions at the end of the presentation. And thank you for having me, and thank you for being here. So, melanoma and other skin cancers, the rate of melanoma is rising every year. There's only 2 types of cancers that have increased, and melanoma is one of them. It used to be 1 in 5. It's now actually 1 in 4 getting melanoma. It's more than that, actually, when it comes to the other 2 types of skin cancer, which is basal and squamous. They're more common. Let's talk about the difference in them right away. Basal cell and squamous cell usually appear around your head, your neck, your ears, and stuff like that. It's an eruption in the skin that will not go away. You can use all the creams in the world you want. It's just going to keep coming back. It has to be removed surgically or whatever way your dermatologist would want to do that. Okay. Melanoma, on the other hand, spreads through your body and can kill you, and it does. It has the 4 stages like any type of cancer. So we're going to talk mostly about melanoma, but the other one, squamous cell and the basal cell, we will talk about that too. Okay. All the way up here. Okay, good. All right. In 2020, there will be an estimated 100,350 new cases of melanoma in the United States, 2,770 in New Jersey, and basically 6,850 deaths from melanoma. And there's going to be over 100 deaths in New Jersey in 2020 from melanoma. Why that number? Some people say, well, that's not really a big number, but it is a big number because this is our most preventable cancer that we have. Not all cancer is preventable. This one is, and we're going to talk about the prevention so we can eradicate that number and get it down. That's one of the big things that we're working on. It's nice to get a tan, but you got to do it the right way. They tell you don't even get a tan, but we'll talk about that because that's a natural occurrence when we get to that slide. Those types of skin cancers, as I said before, when you look at this and you see this is the healthy epidermis, that's the layers of your skin. Okay, squamous cell and basal cell, if you notice, just does the skin. All right, it doesn't go below the skin. Melanoma goes top the skin, through the skin, and then goes into your blood system. It's looking for your lymphatic system. So you got to remember that basal and squamous cell skin cancers are very common and usually very treatable. They can freeze them off, they can scrape them off, they can do a couple different things. But once they take them off, it will never come back in that spot. You may get it somewhere else on your body later on, but not in that spot. And most of the times you don't. Usually it doesn't work that way. Melanoma, on the other hand, is different. Okay. Basal cell skin cancer. There is the picture of it on your skin. It's usually not very big. It's not even the size of a dime, a 10-cent piece. It's smaller, but it can have some blemishes in it. And if you start scratching it and picking at it, you're going to get a scab, things along those lines. Okay. Usually appears on the head and neck area, but it can be found on any part of your body. Any of the three cancers can be found on any part of your body. And actually melanoma can also be internal. But your basal cell is usually always around your neck and head. Sometimes on the shins of females, that has a characteristic. I don't know why, and they don't know why, but it does. Okay. Very unlikely to cause death, but will not go away unless treated by a doctor, as they said. Squamous, now it's a little bit different. And sometimes they when you look at this, you're going to think that it might be melanoma because it has a lot of the same characteristics. But if it's not melanoma, that's better for you, actually. Squamous cell, again, face, neck, ears, lips, back of hands. It could also be found on other parts of the body. Do not think that your brown spots, people refer to them as aging spots, usually on your hands, your neck and all, and your arms. That is not skin cancer. That basically, when you look at those age spots, is melanin that has risen to the surface of your skin, which is a natural protector from getting sunburn, but it's not strong enough anymore with the type of sun that we get and the strength. That is not cancer. But if you have any questions, you get to your dermatologist. What happens is the melanin rises to the surface of the skin and doesn't go back down. Like if you get a tan, you might find out that most of it, as you get into September and October and the tan goes away, the natural tan, some of those spots will show up and stay there. What you have to remember basically is that it just didn't go back in your body. The normal process as we grow older, okay, works differently. Now melanoma, this is the one that we have to learn to recognize, okay? We should have been doing and been aware of this since we were like 18 years old. I'm sure a lot of you went to Belmar, Seaside, Cape May, Wildwood. I'm sure you all laid out there in the sun. I'm sure you put baby oil on. Remember that? Okay, all you did was cooking yourself. As I have a cartoon, which I'll put up later for you at the end. You have to remember that we were cooking ourselves. What was the frying pan? The beach. What was the source of heat? The sun. What was the meat in the frying pan? Us. Okay, and we were cooking ourselves. We were trying to get a burn so we could get a good tan. That was absurd. Burns are burns. A sunburn is a regular burn, a first degree or a second degree burn. If you get blisters, you get a second degree burn. That's not good. A lot of infection happens. But with melanoma, it's more likely to grow and spread than any type of cancers. Again, we'll go back over here. If we look at the skin color, then it goes down, and now it's going in here. And you see what all these things are? Arteries and veins, okay? That's your basement membrane. And what happens with melanoma, if it's not treated, it can cause death, and there's 4 stages of it. The first stage is when the melanoma occurs. Second stage is when it is now trying to find, and it will grow through your skin. And you got to remember, melanoma is like no more bigger than the size of a pencil eraser. And what happens is that it will spread through your body looking for your blood system, okay? And if it gets into the blood system through your lymph glands, you go into stage 3, and now it's spreading throughout your whole body through the blood. Serious stage, very serious stage. And if you still haven't found it and not taken care of, it will start spreading into internal organs. And what will happen is that it becomes stage 4. Stage 4 cancer is usually serious, very big possibility of death, dying of melanoma skin cancer. In your town across from you, Nutley, I have a video that was made by the sons of a phys ed teacher at the middle school in Nutley who passed away from melanoma. He didn't realize he had it, and he let it go and just kept ignoring it, and finally it went through all 4 stages and passed him away. It is serious. It's very serious, okay? So we have to make sure that we are aware of it. You should be doing screenings, okay? But skin cancer in men and women usually occurs on the chest or back, but can occur anywhere. Women usually occurs on the legs or arms, but can occur anywhere. Like I said, the first one, fortunately, my wife found for me. She was looking at the back of my left of my back here, behind my shoulder, and she says, "What's that?" And we got a mirror, and she held it to the mirror, and I looked at it, and I don't know, but I'm going to find out real quick. And that's when I found out about my first case of skin cancer. And when we talk about screenings, we'll talk about that a little bit differently. But that was there. But the other places like my chest, my foot, it happens. You got to remember something, that with skin cancer, we'll use the truck driver arm as an example. Drive the truck, you got the left arm out the window all the time. That gets all sunburnt, gets all brown. It's the only part on you. But you might have melanoma that will come out on the back of your right shoulder, okay, or some other place. Your skin is your largest organ in your body, and you don't get skin cancer where the sun hit the body. It travels through the skin, will pop out anywhere. So you have to do a screening, and when you do the screening, you have to do full body screening. So think of it along those lines that, well, it's just my hands and arms are getting sunburned. Well, but then you can pop out someplace else. So you have to make sure that you're aware of that fact. The symptoms of melanoma, and there's a classic case right there of a melanoma. Big brown spot, and this is all one color at this time, means it's in stage 1. Change in the skin surface. Again, it's only about the size of a pencil eraser, but wasn't there before, and it's slightly raised. So that should make you question it. Moles usually occurring during childhood or young adulthood. Anytime if you have a mole that changes, okay, you have to get to that dermatologist right away. New moles that develop later in life should always be checked by a doctor. Whenever you go to your doctor and you have a new mole, let that doctor know, and then he or she will tell you what you should be doing, okay? And the idea is that you want to know what the changes. So it may start out just like that, but the size, it started out smaller and got a little larger. The shape, instead of being even around, it's going to change in shape. You're going to see it get jagged. You're going to see the form will change. You'll see the color change. It will be two-tone brown and black or dark black. Sometimes it's even white in there with brown or dark black. But if it changes in size, shape, form, or color, any mole on your body, you need to get to that dermatologist right away. And this is what they talk about, the ABCDE rule for early detection. Just basically remember that if it changes size, shape, color, or form, you need to get to that dermatologist. Symmetry in color, half the mole does not match the other half in color. The color of the mole changes, the mole is not the same color all over, A mole appears in different shades of brown and or black and sometimes white spots, okay? They say pink, red, white, or blue, but white is usually the most color. It's a little bit difficult to see the other colors, but you know it shouldn't be there. That's your warning. Diameter, already talked about it, the border, okay? It becomes larger, a little bit larger. If you look over here, this is just a regular size mole. Now it's a little bit bigger, and compare that to the nail. It's about the same size. So like I always say, the size of an eraser on a pencil. And the edges become irregular. Now they become jagged, okay? See how it's smooth? Here it's not. Now you got jagged edges. Definitely a giveaway, definite symptom. And spotting skin cancer again. We're saying the same thing over and over, but I'm doing that on purpose because I really want you to remember that. As senior citizens, we probably have had some already, some type, most of you out there. But if you haven't, just because you are as old as I am, 70 years old, that doesn't mean you stop checking them, okay? You want to spot skin cancer as soon as you can, regardless of your age. And with our age, it can happen at that age, at our age as senior citizens. So please take this serious. Don't burn anymore, but you have to stay on top of making sure that there's no symptoms, nothing that you want to miss. Causes of skin cancer, sunburns, okay, obviously. It actually damages your DNA, and that can't be repaired. Tanning beds. I hope none of you are still using tanning beds. I hope none of you ever did. And if you have any grandchildren or kids that do, tell them to stop, please. You increase your chance of getting some type of skin cancer, okay, by 70%. Tanning beds are not safe for you. Think about it this way. They put goggles on your eyes when they put you in the tanning bed. Why are they doing that? Oh, they're going to protect the tissue of your eyes. Well, guess what? They should be protecting the tissue of your skin because that's burning just like your eyes can also. If there's any family history, you have a better chance of getting it, okay? Less than 10% can be environmental causes. Environmental causes, a lot of times, like especially if you live down in Linden, New Jersey, all that petrol and that gasoline, that oil and stuff, that's not real good. But most of the time, it's less than 10%, but it can cause, okay? Just to make sure you know. So that's your causes. Preventing, it's simple as this, okay? American Cancer Society says that you should be wearing a wide brim hat, clothing, including long sleeves and pants. Well, you know, that's a little tough to do at the beach. It's also tough to do during a regular day. We're in New Jersey. Humidity is 93. The temperature is 90. You want to wear long sleeves and long pants? Well, okay if you want, but be careful of heat problems, okay? You can go in your shorts and your short sleeve shirts. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But what you have to do is that, yeah, you should be wearing a wide brim hat. So a little bit of extra protection to cover your face, your neck, and your ears, okay? But what you want to do is basically is that any skin that is open to the sun, you want to cover with sunblock. Now let's start off right away. Sunblock has to be applied before you go out, because if you don't, and you go to the beach and you lug your chair and your umbrella down to the beach, you're going to perspire, and then you're going to put your sunblock on. Well, the sunblock has to bond with your skin. If you have perspiration on your skin that doesn't bond, it won't work and you'll burn. You have to put it on 15, 20 minutes before you go out into the sun, okay? Cover any of your skin that is exposed to the sun. Now, they have different types. They have little baby stuff for babies, which is great stuff from 6 months on older. Then they also have the regular lotion you can put on, and they also have the spray on. Spray on is good. But remember this, when you're doing that, you usually got your head turned and you don't see. You don't want to get it in your eyes. You miss yourself. Have someone else spray it on for you, okay? If you can. If you can't, then just remember after you spray everything, wipe it in, press it in, okay? It has to bond with the skin. And of course, with the lotion, you have to do the same things. That's all very, very important. Please excuse my phone ringing. It will be off in a moment. Wear sunglasses that are ultraviolet protective, UVA and B, okay? It's called broad spectrum sunglasses. Not them $10 pairs you get in the drugstore, all right? It's not gonna work for you. Get the one that is broad spectrum. It protects you against both of the ultraviolet rays, A and B, okay? That's a good thing. Don't forget to put it on your lips, okay? They have chapsticks that has 15 or 30 that you can put on your lips. Your lips will burn quicker than your skin. Cover that up too, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you one more thing to save you some money. American Cancer Society says get a sunblock between SPF, sun protection factor, 15 to 50, all right? I suggest you go 30 to 50. 30 is better, okay? Don't go over 50 because you can get them 100, 110. From 50 to 110, let's say, is a lot more money and only about 2% better coverage. You can do well with 50. Like I already told you, I've had melanoma. I put that sunblock on and I use a particular brand and it's an SPF 50. I go to Aruba every year. If you've ever been to Aruba, you know what the sun is like down here, you know how hot it is. I have never burned down here because I use this particular type, SPF 50. So don't go over 50, all right? But put it on before you go out into the sun. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever heard any of these statements? Tanning salons are safe. Well, I already told you the answer. Heck no. You can only get sunburned during spring and summer. Is that true? No. Okay. Think about skiers. I love skiers. They go out skiing. They come back in off the slope. Their face is all red. They got white eyes. Oh, what have you been doing? Oh, I've been skiing. Why is your face all red? Oh, that's windburn. No, there's no such thing as windburn. You might be flushed from the coal and red, but once you warm up, your regular color comes back. When that red stays, guess what? You got a sunburn. You're out there on the snow. You're like twice as possible. Temperature has nothing to do with it. All you need is the sun. That's what will burn you. So skiers look like raccoons with the different color eyes in the face. You can do that. Excuse me. So think about the winter and all too. If you know you're going to be out in the sun long enough, yes, you can get a sunburn. My skin is too dark to burn. When I go to schools, I will go to schools all over the state. I don't care what school it is I go in, and I will talk to the kids. And my urban education in Snyder and Jersey City and Irvington High School, my kids used to say, I can't burn, coach. I can't burn. I'm too dark. No, you can still burn. You can still get it. In fact, there's a higher rate of dark skin. Notice I say dark skin. You have light skin, moderate skin, and dark skin. It doesn't have anything to do with race or anything like that. It has to do with the tone of your skin. You can be a dark toned person. You still can sunburn, except me, I would turn cherry red. If I was dark toned, I wouldn't turn cherry red, but I would get a little bit darker. But the problem is that a lot of dark toned individuals say, I'm protected. Yeah, you're protected better than a light tone, but you're not protected 100%. It's the rate of dark tone getting melanoma is higher, and I'm going to give you another reason why. A person that is light tone will usually get melanoma, like I said before. It will be very noticeable because the color of the mole that changes, you can see with a light background. A person that is dark tone, first of all, doesn't usually get it around the face, neck, ears, or back, whereas in females on the legs, okay, they get it on the bottom of their feet, between their toes. When's the last time you picked your foot up and took a look at the bottom of your foot to see if you had a mole that changed to something like that? That's highly unusual. Plus the fact that it doesn't stand out on your normal tone of skin anyway because it's almost the same color. So it goes unnoticed. That is why dark tone individuals have a higher rate of mortality from melanoma, okay, than light tone. So that's not an excuse. It says I burn when using sunscreen. Well, I just told you, if you don't use it right, yes, you'll still burn. One of the things that I forgot to tell you is that anytime you go into the water, any water, If you go into the pool, chlorine will eat it off your skin. Okay. If you go into the ocean or the lake or something like that, and all the turbulence, the sand, the grit of the water will scrape it off like a fine sandpaper. Plus, when you get out of the water, you usually take a towel and dry off. So you're wiping it off your body. You have to reapply anytime you come out of the water. Okay. You may even want to wear a thick t-shirt in the water to help you prevent it if you're very, very sensitive and very light skin. The other situation too is that if you do any type of physical activity while you're out in the sun, you're going to perspire. That will break the bond of the sunblock. You're going to have to reapply. If you don't do either of those two things, then you have to reapply every 2 hours. Here's one last tip also. You go down to the beach, you got your sunblock on. You're all lathered up with your SPF 50 and you're looking good. You get to the beach, you put the chair down, you put the umbrella up, you got your hat on, you got your proper sunglasses on, and you're under the umbrella and you're saying, sun's not getting me, and you never reapply after 2 hours. Well, now the sun's going to get you because the sun does something, what is called refracting. Not reflecting, refracting. The ultraviolet rays will come down and hit the sand and the water and bounce back up underneath that umbrella and get you. So you got to remember, the umbrella is not going to protect you all day. Make sure you reapply. All right. So these 4 statements have something in common. As I already pointed out, they're all myths. None of them are true. Treatment for skin cancer, as you can see, surgery. Okay, they have to do a wide type of surgery to get melanoma out. Okay, the spot might only be the size of a pencil eraser, but the spot's going to turn into like maybe about 4 inches. They have to get out all of the perimeter area and make sure they get all of the skin cancer out. There's no skin, no cancer cells left in that area. Okay, but advanced stages beyond just surgery, okay, immunotherapy, targeted therapy, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, depend upon what stage it's going to be. It is treatable. Okay, and it's much better, higher percentage, okay, if gotten in the first stage or second stage. If you wait until third, you got a 50% chance of surviving. If you go into stage 4, especially end stage 4, you're probably not going to survive because it's going to spread throughout your body and your skin and internal organs. It's serious. Skin cancer can happen to any person at any age. I really want you to remember to make sure to check yourself and screen yourself, okay? Go to a dermatologist once a year. When you go to that dermatologist, please make sure that he or she does a full body screening. A lot of times they will turn around and they will say, can I help you? What's bothering you? I want a full body screening. That's all you tell them. I want a full body screening, and they'll do it. Then if you do have something specifically, you can show it to them. But if they say, well, let me just look at what you think is here, and they don't do a full body screen, time to get a new dermatologist. It's as simple as that. Never be afraid to ask questions when you go see a doctor. I have another program that I do here about effective doctor visits. You may ask to see that program because it's really good. Because normally at our age, we go to the doctor and we were taught to be very respectful as kids, and sometimes we're afraid to ask questions. You can't do that. So you may want me to come back for that one anyway. But what I want you to do, wide brim hat, sunblock, lip balm, proper sunglasses, and apply that sunblock. Stay cancer free. What I want you to do is at least once a month, do a self-exam or have your partner help you, help each other. You never know what may happen after it. It might be fun. Okay, but the bottom line is that you have to stay on top of it to make sure that you can be self-aware of doing your own check and going to that dermatologist. I know for a fact that Horizon and the other health insurance companies cover dermatologists, okay? So please take care of yourselves. Now, do we have any questions? Let's look down here on the chat screen.
Yeah, Vince, if you want to take off your screen share.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, just stop the screen share. And then we can have you back. There you are. Okay. And then I'm just going to go right from the top, and I'll ask the questions that were asked.
Sure.
Uh, one of our clients said she remembers using baby oil with iodine for color. Great tan back then. My father also was a big baby oil user. Somebody wants to know, Marie Claire wants to know what brand sunscreen you use. The one that you were talking about. Are you not allowed to say?
Uh, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm
Okay.
looking at my wife. She's over on the other side of the room, and I'm kind of laughing because she's the
She's
one
gonna
that gave
throw
me.
you the bottle.
Um, Sharon, what kind of sunscreen do you use? Oh, she uses Neutrogena.
Okay.
I never said it. I told you what she said.
Okay. And to that end,
Let me, before we go on that,
yeah, sure.
if you have very, very delicate skin, you can get the type that will stop you from breaking out or causing a rash. Get the kind that is PABA free, PABA. If you have very sensitive skin, get PABA free, and that will help you preventing from breaking out from sunscreen. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for
No, that's a great question. And also, you talked a lot about sweating and swimming. One of our clients wants to know if you are not sweating or swimming, how often do you apply the suntan lotion?
Well, first I want to say that it says suntan
I
lotion. That tells me something about our age. Okay.
know.
Sunblock. If you are not swimming or sweating, you should reapply every 2 hours.
Okay. And then if you are swimming or sweating, you should be applying it how often? Like,
Every 2 hours, or immediately after swimming or sweating.
yeah. And then nevus. What is nevus? It was on an earlier slide. Nevus.
Okay, nevus is just part of the skin.
Okay. And then also with that question from Jeff, any food or vitamins to help prevent skin cancer?
Not to prevent skin cancer, no, but of course, wholesome food and proper supplement vitamins is good for the whole body, including the skin, but not to prevent skin cancer.
Okay. And Carla wants to know if we can get a replay of this presentation. Yes, Carla, it'll be on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch it on YouTube and on our Lifelong Montclair YouTube. I can send you a link to it when it's available. It usually takes
Thank you.
a day. And then,
Did
yep,
doctor say one a day about vitamins? Is that what his answer is?
one a day. I mean, I don't
What
think,
did he say?
I said that food and vitamins do not prevent skin cancer. They are good for your skin and your whole body, but it does not prevent skin cancer.
and another question came in, any special precautions to take if you have vitiligo?
I can't answer that because I have no idea what that is.
It's spots on your skin that are lighter than other spots.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. I know that another term. Yes. The precautions is making sure that you do a full body screening every month, including those spots, to make sure there's no change in them. If there is a change in them, then you need to get to the dermatologist right away.
I'd like to add that vitiligo actually starts out around the mouth and the eyes, and it could spread all over the body by the skin color completely disappearing. So you're left with absolutely.
Yes, it does. What happens? That's because the melanin in our body is a natural chemical that's in our skin. When our skin is subject to the ultraviolet lights, that raises to the surface of the skin and causes those spots. But what happens is that as we get older, that will stay out instead of going back in. And then that's when it turns into that particular situation, what you're calling vitiligo.
And somebody else wants to know scar cover up. If you have a scar, is it more prone to sunburn? And do you add like an extra layer of sunblock or a special?
No, if you have any scars on your body that's still skin, it's actually tougher, rougher skin than the normal skin, but it can also burn. Most of the time it will burn around it though. So you want to cover them with sunblock also.
And then also, is there a lip sunscreen? Do you get lip balm with special protection, or is it the same SPF?
No, you can get lip balms at different, you can get them from 8, okay, which isn't going to help you, all the way up to a 50. You want to get a lip balm that's about 15 to 30. That would be the best cover up that you would use on your lips, okay? I remember, of course, reapply after you drink something, or reapply after you eat something, or if you're doing this, and you shouldn't be, especially now during COVID-19, keep your hands away from your mouth, your nose, your ears, and your eyes. So you can get that lip balm. Go to your local drugstore. The druggist, the pharmacist will be happy to point them out to you, okay? And then choose the one that you think would be best for you.
Every year I read articles, Vince, about chemicals in sunscreen that can be dangerous. And I always get so confused, and I go to the pharmacy and I look at all the things, and I have a list of all the things I should avoid. And it always seems that the one, like all the natural products, the natural organic sunscreens are the ones that just have their zinc. I think there's zinc oxide, and there's nothing, not other stuff and all these other chemicals with all these long names that I can't pronounce. Any thoughts on that?
Yes, zinc oxide is the main ingredient in sunblock. If you remember when we were kids and you went to the beach and you saw the lifeguards with the big white noses, okay, that was all zinc oxide. That was pure zinc oxide that came out of a tube. Of course, and I'm a former lifeguard and a pool manager and stuff like that. I always said to myself, why do I just want to protect my mouth? It doesn't make any sense. But I'm not going to become Casper the Friendly Ghost and be covered with white chemical all over my whole body too. Zinc oxide was then taken because if you remember when we were kids, you saw the billboard for a particular brand, I can't say, with the dog biting the bathing suit off the little girl's behind, all right? And they called it suntan lotion, like we see up there, okay, suntan lotion. Basically, that was the beginning of taking zinc oxide and putting it with other chemicals for different reasons. Those reasons the other chemicals is to keep it active longer than what it was, also to make sure that it spreads and stays on better than what it had. So they were all improvements. There are no cancer-causing agents in any known sunblock that is sold. It's FDA approved, and it took them a while, actually. Also, sunblock, they now started putting expiration dates on them. The bottom line is that it's no good for more than a year. So whatever you buy for this spring, next spring, buy new stuff, okay? Don't just keep it. Buy new stuff every year, annually. Okay? Anything else?
Are there any other questions out there? All right, well, hopefully the sun will come out and hopefully we'll wear our hats. I think that's the biggest, my biggest sun prevention is, in addition to I wear sunscreen every day, whether I know I'm going to be in the house Zooming, I still wear sunscreen underneath my makeup. My makeup has like a 15, I think, but I also have a daily moisturizer that has a 30 that I wear every day, even in the winter. But my big thing is in the sun, I wear a hat as well because I want to have that ageless skin that my mother has, and my mother's really big on not getting too much sun on her face. So it's summer and we have to be aware of it, but I think Vince has convinced us that we have to be aware of it all year round. So I thank you so much. Very informative. We'll see you next week. Join us next Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, 11 o'clock, because Vince will be back to talk to us about getting a better night's sleep. And I'm sure we could all use that. So, and I would absolutely talk to you, Vince, about a program on how to have a better doctor's visit, especially since a lot of doctors are meeting virtually. So I think it's even more important to get the most out of your doctor's visit. So I'll be reaching out to you in the near future about booking that for the fall, for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Remember, be safe to stay healthy.